But then shortly afterward, he would meet and marry another woman, the first of 10. Oh, yeah, that's right. He would marry 10 women on his journey. Now,
man, look, I don't like reacting to this channel because it has a bad rep, but because I have a lot of Islamic people who watch my stuff, this one is, I will give this one a pass.
June 23rd, 1325, Tangier. A 21-year-old scholar mounted on a donkey leaves home for the...
Like, it's not even the topic that I dislike, it's just this channel. The reputation of Extra History has just completely gone down. That nobody really like likes to watch them. Even their older videos, if you like try to react to their older videos, like no one is really gonna bother watching. And I don't really see a point in doing a reaction to something that no one is gonna watch. But again, because I have a bunch of Islamic people who watch my stuff, this shouldn't be too bad.
His objective, the holy city of Mecca. He expects to be gone for 2 years, possibly even 3. I set out alone, he wrote later, having neither fellow traveler in whose companionship I might find cheer, nor caravan whose part I might join, but swayed by an overmastering impulse within me, and a desire long cherished in my bosom to visit these illustrious sanctuaries. So
you know, I like the fact that the donkey has a serious face. Like, because usually, like most of the time, I never react to these like animatics. They always like put the animal like this happy face. Like, no, you like most of the time the animal looks depressed. I like the fact that they actually put that detail there.
Dear ones, female and male,
good on them.
Forsook my home as birds forsake their nests, and he will not return home for another 24 years.
24 years.
When Ibn Battuta left Tangier, he had no idea that he was commencing on a journey so epic, we'd still be talking about it 700 years later. And in his quarter century of wandering, he would end up...
700 years. That's how you know. That's how you know this is freaking legendary. When you're still talked about more than hundreds of years later.
Nearly the entire Muslim world of the 14th century. From the deserts of the Empire of Mali to the Islamic outposts of Indonesia and southern China.
That's
in
mad.
Doing so, he would travel around 75,000 miles, enough to circle the globe 3 times, meet 60 heads of state, and visit 40 modern countries. He would survive kidnapping and shipwreck, witness revolts and military campaigns, be imprisoned by a mad sultan, and encounter the horrors of the Black Plague. And when he finally returned, the ruler of Morocco asked him to spend 2 years dictating all he saw to a literary scholar. The resulting book, a gift to those who contemplate the wonders of cities and the marvels of traveling, a title often shortened to The Travels, is 1,000 pages long. Which is sort of a problem if, for example, you're adapting it into a series of 5 short animated videos. But in truth, even if we had 10 times the budget and development time for this series, we still wouldn't be able to do all of Ibn Battuta's travels justice. But what we can do, though, is look at the travels the way historians do today, as a way of understanding the breadth of Islamic religion and culture during the 14th century, how faith was adapted to local...
Speaking of Islamic, I said that I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be sending this to all my Islamic videos. If you have any questions about Christianity and like anything that you're curious about with Christianity or anything, I will be doing like a Q&A kind of video with my other brother who likes to talk about these things, and he's extremely passionate about Christianity. Some of you already know about that, but yeah, but for those who don't, because sometimes people just don't, I will be doing that. So if you're like a Muslim, you have any questions about Christianity, just comment it down below. I'll be saving it for the Q&A. You don't want to miss out on that.
Local conditions and the trade and travel links that could take a man from North Africa to China. And of course, we'll look at the curious, intrepid, ambitious, and often quite prickly man who experienced it all. Apart from what we learned from the travels, we actually know surprisingly little about Ibn Battuta himself. But we can be sure his formative years in Morocco were the perfect training for a great traveler. Tangier was not one of North Africa's great cities, but it was a massive trade hub. To the north lay Europe. To the south, the golden kingdoms of sub-Saharan Africa. To the east lay the Mediterranean trade networks, and to the west, the burgeoning Atlantic trade. And its docks thronged with both Muslims and Christians, along with merchants from Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Ibn Battuta's family were scholars of Islamic law and gave their son an education that would let him follow in the family tradition. This education made him a qadi, a magistrate or judge of Islamic law. Not only an honorable profession, but one, it turned out, that would let him find work wherever there was a Muslim community.
You know, let's talk about this real quick. So he was literally blessed to be put in a family that already had themselves put together. You know, most people aren't like that. Most people aren't blessed like that. Most people are usually born into an unfortunate family, and that's it. And this is something that has always really and truly like been on my mind. How many people with so much potential like him, or way more potential, is just unfortunate enough to be born in a family that just doesn't have the means to provide for them and is able to give them proper education and proper necessities for them to really and truly shine, right? Because even now to this day, most likely speaking, the type of family that you're born in is the type of way that you're going to die, quite frankly speaking. If you're born in a rich family, you're probably going to be rich when you die. If you're born in a poor family, you're probably going to be poor when you die, right? Like, how much people have so much potential, but we will never ever see it, ever. Even now, to this very day, it's been like this since the dawn of mankind, actually. But yeah, I just wanted to just give that thought, because like when you really and truly sit down and think about it, you really realize, holy crap. Like, we are truly behind, us as a whole society / race. We are behind because there's so much people that are literally being wasted that could literally impact mankind, like, you know, what he did. That's just unfortunate to be born in a bad environment, in a bad family. You know what I mean? It's like, where would mankind be right now if that wasn't a thing, man? Just think about that for a second.
You know what's better than one? Likely instilled the curiosity that would drive him on his great journey. For in Islam, curiosity and the seeking of knowledge is considered a religious duty. In fact, a common saying at the time, seek knowledge even unto China, would really end up becoming quite literal for this young man. But Ibn Battuta's travel experience began by embarking on the Hajj, or annual pilgrimage to Mecca. A religious duty for all Muslim men, if they had the resources, were healthy enough to do it, and their leaving wouldn't place a burden on their family. He set out alone at first, traveling east across North Africa, but soon joined up with a pilgrim caravan for protection against bandits. And they were happy to have him, as having a qadi among a caravan meant that disputes and matters of religious law could be solved without stopping the train. So they crossed the land of the slave sultans, the Mamelukes, who had risen from being enslaved soldiers to taking over the state. And though he was not far from home, Ibn Battuta began to reveal what he would be like as a traveler. A fever hit him hard, the first of many on his journey. Soon, he was so ill he could barely stay on his mount. "If God decrees my death," he said, "then my death shall be on the road, with my face set toward Mecca." Determined not to stop, he tied himself to his saddle in order to keep going. But stop he did. And during that brief sojourn, he did a very Ibn Battuta thing. While recovering, he fell in love and formed a marriage contract, but then dissolved it before the ceremony after a dispute with the woman's father. But then shortly afterward, he would meet and marry another woman, the first of 10. Oh yeah, that's right, he would marry 10 women on his journey. Now,
I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this. Okay, I see you. Okay. Damn, I can't even say the word because I like to keep my stuff ad friendly, but okay, I see you. Okay.
We don't know much about these marriages. He simply mentions them in passing, confirming the Islamic literary convention of keeping his private life private. And often, like with his first wife, he would divorce his wives when he moved on. A common practice in medieval Islam, and perhaps these divorces may even have been mutually agreed, since religious law made that the easiest route to ending a marriage. But here is where we get...
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I need my Islamic viewers to go answer my question right now in the comments. Like, give me more detail on that, because in Christianity back then, this would be completely unacceptable. What the heck? Whoa, I know divorces were extremely hard for Christians back then. Really freaking hard. In fact, that's how the Anglican Church became a thing, which is a joke church. Literally became a thing only because freaking Henry VIII just wanted to, you know, screw some other women, but he couldn't divorce his wife from the Catholic Church. Like, ugh.
The first hint of Ibn Battuta's lifelong fascination.
But answer my question. Give me more details on how this would transpire in Islam, or divorces and all that, because that sounds a lot more easier than how it would be. I expected it to be a lot more harder, actually, in Islam, but okay.
With women, wherever he went, along with descriptions of food, agriculture, religious life, and court processions. He often remarked on how attractive he found the local ladies. He was also known to have innumerable lovers and concubines over his life, including several that were enslaved. And it's also at this point...
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel. Whoa. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna be so honest. I do not know what to say. Honestly, bro, I will say this. Yeah, times haven't changed at all. I mean, times haven't changed. Even now today, a lot of dudes, and this is something that I really feel like a lot of dudes need to stop. They need to stop thinking with the wrong head. Frankly speaking, like, it's crazy how like this is still a thing. And it probably won't change, but like, dudes really need to stop thinking with the wrong head. Like, seriously.
Get an early indicator of his, well, let's just call it snippy nature. On a stop in Egypt, he visited the town bathhouse and was shocked to find the men inside were not wearing the hip coverings required by law. Basically, they were naked in the locker room. But now here's the thing about Ibn Battuta. He could get a bit judgy. And if he saw you doing something he considered wrong, oh, he was definitely telling the teacher. In fact, historians often refer to him as a busybody, you know, for being all up in your business. But to put it in a more modern vernacular, Ibn Battuta was a total narc. So instead of just telling those guys to please cover up, he went straight to the local governor and started an official crackdown on proper dress in the bathhouses. Yeah, the phrase "that escalated quickly" was kind of his brand.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this guy sounds like a nerd emoji type of dude. Ugh. I don't know how to feel about this dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have mixed feelings about him already. I really don't know how to feel about this guy.
Often comes off as judgmental. His job was to be a judge. And this trip across North Africa offered him the opportunity to develop those skills. Because while he was fully qualified as a Qadi, the universities of Tangier were provincial when compared to those in Cairo, Damascus, and Alexandria. So as he made his way toward Mecca, he would stop to study for a few months under great teachers, gaining further certifications. He saw the great lighthouse of Alexandria, visited Cairo, which he called the mother of cities, passed by the Giza pyramids, and traveled down
modern Cairo is complete mess today.
The Nile, but then was halted by a violent revolt. So he doubled back to Cairo and instead took the royal road to Damascus. Diverting for a moment to visit the tomb of Abraham, then the Muslim sites in Jerusalem, he finally made it to the Mamluk's second capital. But eager to move on, he only spent 24 days in Damascus, probably living in the dormitory of the Great Mosque. Though he did pack that 3 weeks full, managing to survive another illness, gaining further certifications, and celebrating Ramadan. Oh, and of course, you know, he got married and divorced again. That's right, Zoe, because Ibn Battuta. And there he finally joined the official route of the Hajj, across a perilous desert route, haunted by epidemic disease, burning days, and freezing nights. And this time, Mamluk soldiers guarded them from bandits. Yet the caravan made it to its destination without incident, the city of Medina, where the Prophet Muhammad had retreated with his followers when driven out of Mecca. While there, he prayed at the Mosque of the Prophet, built over Muhammad's tomb, before continuing on. Then finally, upon reaching the holy city of Mecca, he took part in the rituals of the Hajj, making several circles around the Kaaba, bowing to the shrine of Abraham's footprints, standing on the plains before the Mount of Mercy, where the Prophet gave his farewell sermon, reciting prayers, and listening to religious teachings for a full day. And of course, he studied, seeking always more knowledge. For this pilgrim,
What I do respect about him is the fact that he wants more knowledge. I respect that. That is something that I 100% respect. I wish his mindset would be in more people today, especially more men today, because most dudes, they just sit around and just play freaking video games. Like, they're not productive with themselves at all. Like, I know I say this in a few of my other videos, but I don't really like to play games. I prefer to just do other things, preferably just stuff related to history or just learning about new things. Again, which is kind of why I just decided to create this channel. I was just like, you know what? If I'm just gonna sit here and learn these things, if I'm just gonna watch videos and learn these things, why don't I just put a camera to myself and just get other people to teach me a lot more things, right? So again, like, you know, even now this is something productive that I'm doing. So yeah, so this is what I say. I don't know, man. Like, I got mixed feelings about the guy. I do. I don't know how to feel about him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
had merely whetted his appetite for seeing the world. Not to mention, he had come across news that the Sultan of Delhi, immensely rich and generous, was in need of officials with proper certifications, which is why he was building his resume. Fame, fortune, and adventure awaited him,
Smart.
and he decided to extend this 18-month trip a little bit longer. So Ibn Battuta turned his mount towards the lands of Muslim Persia and the devastated city of Baghdad.
Okay, that was actually a good one. Really a lot of unexpected things per se. Again, I don't like reacting to this channel because they have such a bad reputation now, but because I have an Islamic viewership, I guess this is the exception to the rule, I guess. Look, man, go subscribe. You made it all the way to the end of this video. Go subscribe if you like my reactions. If you like my Islamic reactions, I have plenty of Islamic reactions on my channel, okay? Go check it out. And go like the video so that my video stays on the YouTube algorithm. If you don't, they're gonna think the video doesn't like to be put on the algorithm. All right. See ya. Gotta go upload this video now.